What's going on, everybody? Part 2 of working on the budget water-cooled Xbox One S. So we got a couple packages in. We already went over having the water block. We're going to be using this radiator. Let's go ahead and open this one up. And that is not for this project. So these are batteries for the PSP. They're for PSP 2000s and 3000s. I believe the one that we're going to be working on first when we get to those, the mint green one, had no battery or charger or anything, so I got a double pack there. It was like, I don't know, 15 bucks for two of them. Anyway, here is an empty box. That's not one of them. Here we go. Got this one here. Go ahead and open this up. This is our reservoir, which I've already showed in the last video. Same exact one that's in here. And this was about $15 or so. But, so yeah, it'll probably be mounted somewhere in the back. There should be room. I mean, I think the power supply is back here, so it would be forward a little bit. And it'll be, I don't know, maybe we'll have it upright so that the bottom half is submerged inside the system, like that. And this top one will be exposed to have the return from the radiator. Bottom one will feed the pump. Yeah, looks like it came with a couple fittings, but I don't think those look like 1/4 inch. I could be wrong. Probably won't be using those, but anyway, put that with the other empty box. And then next up here, which will be the first thing I'm going to work on today, we've got a full shell and button kit for our controller. So we'll get this taken apart, cleaned up. Like I said, everything on here seems to work really well. No problems with any of the buttons or anything. It's just kind of gunked up and the different creases and things like that. You can see it's kind of like a galaxy purple camouflage looking theme there. That's the same thing I plan to paint the exterior of this, is using that purpley blue color shift paint. Put this with the other boxes there. And so now we've got our system, we've got our water block, we've got our reservoir, got our radiator, and our fan for the radiator. And like I said, I've already got just a whole bunch of those little 40mm fans. We'll probably put one on the inside to help some more airflow since we just have the 80. My neighbor is weed whacking, of course, as soon as I started this. But anyway, so yeah, before we even get into this, like I said, the only thing we're waiting on, since I already have fittings and tubing, is our pump, which still hasn't shipped out, it looks like. Once it does, I mean, it'll get here pretty quick. However, I already know exactly where that's going. As far as the inside, it will be just like the last 1S build that I did. It's the same exact pump. I believe I had it mounted about right here. The water block, as you can tell by this circle that's in the vent. I mean, this whole thing is perforated, but the only part that is actually breathable is right here where the fan is. So the water block will technically sit right here on the inside. Only difference is the water block I used in the other one had the fitting mounts right here on the top, and this one's on the side, which I think will actually help us out some. Just so it's a little slimmer, we can fit more stuff on the inside. So anyway, again, before we get into this, we're going to go ahead and do this controller. So here it is. You start off by just popping off these end pieces here. Obviously take this out and the batteries out. And then we just start removing all the screws. And then we're going to go ahead and slap this one on. I'm going to go ahead and look in my parts box as well, where I have the extra pieces from my other two personal controllers, like this one, which is a mixture of the wood grain and the blue, and then my other one has other custom stuff on it. I believe I have extra thumbsticks that are blue that we can swap out. I'm not sure if this one comes with color matched. It looks like color matched thumbsticks, so maybe we'll just do the whole thing in this. But yeah, first thing I'll do is that. Show you it stock, and next clip you'll see it will be complete. And then we can move on to this. which needs a lot of cleaning and whatnot, but we'll get into taking that apart. And quick update on this. I know we're still gonna get to this. Still at customs. Still hasn't left New York. So, oh well. And pay no mind to my. This is a test panel I did. I got 6 different model spray paints on. I mean, they were like 99% off, pretty much. So I just used this as a test template to kind of see what the colors look like. Anyway, time to do the controller. Alright guys, got the faceplate, buttons in. I kept the white on the sides, just has a little better grip. Now, any aftermarket shells are usually not the perfect fit. This seems like it was an OEM shell that they then, I think it's called hydro dipped to get this on here. Now that still kind of causes a problem because it does make everything a tiny bit thicker. And all these buttons do still click. The A button, I feel like it just isn't as smooth as the others quite, but I don't know, it still kind of feels normal. We'll see. Maybe I'll look at kind of sanding out that circle a little bit more. I kind of had to already, otherwise it just was very stiff, but I don't know. Still feels good. Maybe we'll put another button on there. We'll see. But yeah, so this is going to be our controller. I had these blue thumb grips. I didn't want to use the other ones. They were just plastic that were hydro dipped. And these ones actually have the rubber on there. It just feels better. So yeah, that's going to be our controller. So now it's time to start taking this apart. And first step in doing that is a huge pain. You have to take off this bottom piece, and there's no screws. Xbox loves to use plastic clips that you have to just pry apart and hope you don't break anything. I just noticed that this is completely missing all 4 of these little rubber feet. But like I said, I have part ones. I'll just take the ones off that. Anyway, so first step is to literally pry this off. PlayStation loves to use a bunch of screws, a bunch of different kinds of screws. I kind of prefer the clips because then you don't lose all the screws. But anyway, you pop this off, and then you'll expose the metal frame. And just like all of the previous Xboxes, there'll be certain screws that go all the way through that hold this top piece on. And then we're on the inside, and then we can start taking a look what we got on the inside first of all, and then go ahead and do the water block install and start on our water-cooled build. Alright guys, we got the bottom piece pried off. Now speaking of that, I'll probably end up just using this one that I already have and painted with the raindrop effect. It's a little bit of glow in the dark, and it's got the color shift. Might be hard to see on camera, it's kind of a blue and purple. Next up, I'm going to remove the green screws here, 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 and here. That's going to take our white casing off so we can get to the inside. We will eventually have to remove all the other screws, get the motherboard out, and replace our heatsink with our water block. We're going to start with the green ones. I'd also like to take a quick second to say, as of right now, I am still waiting on that pump top for the eyeball to leave the customs. So when that shows up, we'll get into that one as well. The next few videos might start to get all over the place. I also planned on doing one of the PSPs, but the screen that I got was for a PSP 1000, not a 2000. They refunded me that. They let me keep it. So if anybody needs a PSP 1000, probably just send it for the cost of shipping, since it's obviously untested. I don't have an original PSP to test it out with, but it looks like it's in brand new shape, just opened. Secondly, by the time I upload this, I'll probably be receiving my Halo 3 Edition Xbox back from the person who bought it. It was unfortunately very damaged in shipping. It looks like it fell out of the truck and got ran over and left in a rain puddle or something. So we're going to try to repair that for him the best we can and get that sent back. When that shows up, that's going to be the main priority. That's something I hope I can do very quickly and send that back to him with obviously a large refund that hopefully USPS will cover. We're still waiting on the insurance claim. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep working on this for now. Let's move these green screws. Alright guys, next step done. Got the white case off, took the metal shielding off. Nothing holds that on, it's just a snug fit. Now we're into the internals. We've got to remove the RF board on the front. And then this should be our Wi-Fi board on the side. Just a few screws on those, so those will come out. And then to go farther, we got to remove the rest of the screws down here to take the whole motherboard out. Now this plastic piece on the back, unfortunately, is attached to this metal frame. However, once you get the motherboard out and everything, it should be pretty easy to mask that off and paint it if I want to paint that. Maybe we'll leave it white, who knows. Otherwise, there's some plastic pieces that you would have to snap off to actually remove that, and then you'd have to like glue it back on. But anyway, here's our inside. It's not terrible, but it's definitely very dusty. Don't need to clean this because we're just going to take it out. There's our power supply. This one is a 1 terabyte hard drive, and then our disk drive here. Get all that cleaned up. Obviously these 3 things are going to stay. I mean, I could adjust this, move this somewhere, but that's the best place for it. So next clip we'll have all this taken out, and we'll get ready to do the water block install. And then once we have that in place, we'll have to decide which way we want to face it, which is going to work best to have the fittings on. And then yeah, then we'll have to go from there. That's one thing that we can't put somewhere where, you know, differently. It's got to go right here. So we'll put that in, and then I think we're going to have to wait for the pump to come in to continue on mapping that out. But in the meantime, we'll do some of the wiring. We got the fan plug in here, power supply cables here. For 5 volts, I usually go into the hard drive. We'll do that for the temperature display. And yeah, so next step, take all these parts off, take the motherboard out, and swap out the air cooler for the water cooler. Alright, we've got all the screws removed from the bottom, got the RF and the Wi-Fi board out, all the other screws out, so we can now take the motherboard out of this metal tray here. There's a plastic clip in the middle, so we'll just have to slide it a certain way. I obviously took the 4K player out, hard drive, and power supply. So now when we get this out, this is just held on, just like all the other Xbox 360s with the X-clamp. Pop that off, take this thing out, clean it up, put some new thermal paste, then we'll be mounting our water block, probably facing this way since the pump probably be over on this side. But let's go ahead and take this out. Alright, so this is probably where we're going to finish this video. As you can see, I got the old heatsink off, cleaned up the computer chip there. Didn't put any paste on there yet. This still has the plastic covering on the bottom. I don't want to install this yet because it'll probably be hard to put the fittings on, and I don't know exactly what fittings I'm putting on yet until I know exactly which orientation I'll be putting this in. And I won't really know that until I have the pump here, because the difference with this block versus the one I used in my first build was the first one was a lot flatter, and it had, like I said, the 2 ports up top. This one is a lot thicker. It looks like even if I put it this way, it would clear these capacitors here, but probably not. I don't know. It depends on if we're doing barb fittings there or 90-degree fittings. If I put it this way, I would use 90-degree fittings, and I just have these, the drive and the power supply to just as a reference to see how much room I have to work with. Looks like there would be plenty of room here to have like a 90-degree fitting. But yeah, like I said, I need to wait on the pump to see if it'll still fit in the same spot I did before, even with this taller water block there. So, like I said, we're still waiting on that to leave customs. Maybe it already did, I don't know. Tomorrow, the 16th, is what tomorrow would be at the timing of this video. That I'm making it, filming it, blah blah. Anyway, it says it'll be delivered between the 16th and like the 20 something, 22nd or 23rd or something like that. So we're going to be waiting on that until we can move forward on this. I'll probably work on some of the wiring since then. Get ready to splice in 12-volt source for probably from the fan plug-in for the pump, 5 volts for the temperature display, which I just got in, I put somewhere. And then once we know where we're putting the pump, we can kind of orient our radiator and reservoir, kind of see where we want to put all that stuff. So looks like this would almost fit somewhere here. Anyway, so that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure once I upload this, I will have the Halo Xbox back in my hands to repair. Finally got the settlement from USPS for that. So I can give that guy at least a good refund, pay for shipping and everything like that, and hopefully do little upgrades to the Halo Xbox and all that stuff. And hopefully once I get that one done, I get the pump top for this one, so we can get that one going. And hopefully I also get the correct screen for my PSP, so that we can start working on those as well. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.